So I have an idea for you. What if they are just different skills? There are different skills out there for different pursuits. What if going to the gym and being disciplined in the gym is a completely different skill set, it's a completely different pathway than being able to run a business or being able to be consistent and show up every day running a business or waking up early in the morning and getting work done or getting schoolwork done, studying for exams? What if these are different skills? I know it could be obvious. Maybe you're like, well, duh, they're different skills. But a very common teaching online is to talk about how you start with the gym. If your life is kind of a miserable mess, right? It's the best thing to start with your body, and I still think that's true. It's absolutely to start with physical strength because everything is downstream from it. These are ideas that so many people, podcasters, motivational speakers, or whatever, talk about. That you start with the physical. If you can get a consistency in the gym, consistency working out, consistency like in a running routine, whatever it may be, that stuff will always translate. And I think there's a level where that's true because there are many people like where your lives are just a mess. Like you are just lazy, you're just in the basement your whole life, you're not going out, you're not motivated to do anything, you're even depressed at times. Many people fall into those traps, right? Addicted to whatever, to drugs or to video games or to whatever the thing is holding you back, keeping you down, and kind of just sapping all of the life and the energy out of you, just being kind of, being lazy, being that stereotypical guy that sits in his mother's basement, smokes weed, plays video games all day. It doesn't have to look exactly like that, but some sort of a combination like that. A person that is in that state and knows that they want to get out of it and knows that they want to do better, all the advice is to start with the gym, start with the physical, start with having a consistency in that realm, in that regard. And the idea is those values can start to change their mind. That instead of the being lazy, instead of falling into the addiction, they may slowly build themselves out of it to then translate it to other aspects of their life as well. Well, I think that might be true. What if it's actually not the case? What if it is actually just something completely different? If you're able to learn to go to the gym and be consistent with the gym, then it's a completely different thing to learn to study every day, for example. It's a completely different pathway in your brain. I think the way I look at it is all mental, right? That is where the similarity lies. It is all mental to have a consistency, a discipline in your work, in going, showing up every day. It's a mental thing. It is a cultural thing, it's a reputational thing in your mind that sits there that's like, I want to be the type of person that shows up every day. And the type of person that all of this online stuff is targeted towards, the person that needs to go to the gym every day because they're stagnating in their life and they know it too, and they need some structure, they need some sort of an identity within themselves in their life. The gym's a good place to start. The workout routine, the consistency there is a good place to start. But does that mean that they will just be able to instantly translate to everything else in their life? Maybe they're slacking in their work as well and they need to go kind of be consistent in that. Or maybe they're in school and they're slacking in school and they need to be consistent with their studying, right? Just a couple of examples, right? Or maybe they want to try something new. They want to do a hustle of some kind, so they need the consistency of work in that hustle to actually go and make it happen. Whatever the other thing may be. Like maybe it's just as simple as they want to fix their sleep schedule. Maybe it's as simple as they want to start reading consistently every day. That level of consistency, maybe it is translated because of your mind. It's your thing. It's a thing in your mind. It's a pathway in your mind. But they're completely different things. They're completely different levels of discipline. Like I think about David Goggins and how he is able to, when he was studying, he would study for like hours and hours on end and read the same page over and over again because he had some sort of like a mental disorder or something like that where he actually he had trouble memorizing basically. So he had to just write it down, copy it down on the same page just so he can memorize, just so he can pass the theoretical exams to then for him to be a Navy SEAL, for him to actually be able to pass the tests, go into the Air Force, which is where he started, I believe. And basically like he basically was talking about how, yes, it's a different discipline. It's not the same as the running every single morning at 3:30 in the morning, at 4 in the morning, right? That's a very high level of discipline, but it's a different discipline to sit at your desk and study and copy the same thing over and over again so that you know what you're dealing with, so that you know that you're ready for the exam you're taking. So that is like kind of my idea, that I struggle in my life to translate it at times as well. Like for me, it's like I'm very consistent in the gym. I'm very consistent with my workouts. It's basically like an automatic thing at this point, where I make sure that I am in the gym 2 to 3 times a week minimum. I'm doing other workouts on the side at home, the occasional run every now and again, playing soccer with my friends once a week or once every couple of weeks. It's a very consistent thing. It's just automatic now. So when I want to, I don't know, give a little more effort to the show, for example, a little bit more effort to the videos I'm making, a little bit more effort, I'm gonna have to be studying for a certificate that I'm gonna be doing for personal training. I have a manual. I've left the manual in my desk, and in a couple weeks I'm gonna have to start studying every single day so that I can pass that exam to get my license. And like I look at that and it's like that's a completely different skill. Pretty much this time last year I was doing some hardcore studying for my exams. And I was very disciplined. I actually did a very good job. Like I studied for at least a few hours every day for like 3 weeks. It was like a 60-hour study session because obviously for the whole year I wasn't really paying attention to my classes because I was focusing on my football journey, which was a lot more important than some stupid online school. That was what I was going through. Maybe I actually haven't talked about on this show yet, but yeah, I was doing some online courses just to kind of satisfy my parents' desire for me to go to school basically while still going and pursuing my football dreams, but I wasn't really paying attention at all. But in that moment I just locked in. I studied for 60 hours to go do the exams, and I passed the exams. Barely, but I passed the exams, right? Which really is testament to the fact that I'm able to do it. I'm able to translate the skill, right? I'm able to translate that mentality, but it took a lot. It took really a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you because of the fact that like I hated it, but that's the point. You're not supposed to like it. It is supposed. That's why it's a discipline. You're not supposed to like it. And I didn't. I was in a moment where I didn't understand. First of all, I struggled to understand it because it was hardcore, like mathematics, statistics. It was very tough for me to understand in general in the beginning, anyway. And on top of it, I just didn't have any motivation to do it. But I had to kind of find another level, of find something else that was deeper within me to then get that consistency. Get through those first couple of days where like I'm really just kind of biting my nails off, just pulling my hair out, and then eventually get to the point where I have a structure, an idea as to what I'm going to be doing, and then actually the exam days come and then I'm at least decently prepped and ready to at least a little bit, at least enough that I was able to just barely pass all three. I had 3 exams, all 3 of those courses. So I see that example of actually it was a completely different thing that I had to lock in with, because the physical, the gym, the working out, that stuff is like at this point in my life, that stuff is easy for me. That stuff is automatic for me. Whereas to go and to spend hours every day studying for exams, that was something completely different. It took a while for me to kind of get into it. And then when I finally did, I ended up being very consistent and ended up working out. But I see how it is a different pathway. It is a different level of a discipline. But yeah, the truth is it is all in your mind. It is all what it goes on in your mind. To be consistent with something, whether it is the physical, whether it is something like studying, or it is something like doing a little bit more work and being more diligent in your work. In the Bible, it talks all about being diligent versus being slothful, being lazy, right? And it talks about how God actually wants us to be diligent in our work, disciplined in our ways, rather than just lazy, right? Sitting around all day, it's not going to get anything done, right? You're not going to get anything done, and you're just kind of going to keep wallowing away until you blink and your life has just flashed by, right? And that's kind of the fundamental reason why all of this stuff is online. All this self-help mindset growth type of thing is online, because a lot of people have gone through it, and a lot of people really understand this concept that it's like your life's not fulfilling if you're just sitting around all day. Your life is more fulfilling if you're going out there. You have a discipline, you have a consistency. You need to kind of tap into that mindset, that potential that's within your mind. But once you get into that, from there you can exponentially grow it. But it takes a little bit of time to actually get off your couch and actually be consistent with it. But the kind of point I'm trying to talk about here in this video, the thing I'm trying to hammer home, is that it's a completely different set of skills that requires a completely different set of disciplines to be able to be diligent in your work, whether it is the physical or whether it is something that is a little bit more just practical. Studying, work is the example that I give, because me personally, I've struggled to kind of translate into different realms. Whereas for me, physical has always been the easiest thing, because I guess I'm lucky that I've always had that mentality instilled in me. Whereas everything else, I have to kind of push a little bit further to actually do it. So, although everything kind of stems from the physical, and your life will always be better if you are physically active, you always feel better about yourself if you are physically active consistently. It is something that, like, oh, you can't just automatically assume that it will translate to everything. So you need to understand that if you're trying to be disciplined in something, whatever the thing is, you need to study, you have exams coming up, or you're trying to find a job, you want to make some money, right? You're trying to hustle, make some money, be financially successful, or you're trying to be disciplined in relationships as well. They are different disciplines. They are different things, different structures, different mental pathways that you're going to have to train. You're going to have to train them. They won't just be ready. They're just mushy. They're sponge. But the more you train it, the more resilience you will have in your mind to continue to be consistent in those things. But you don't just want to automatically assume. You want to be careful, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. You don't want to just automatically assume that, oh, just because you've been disciplined in one aspect, you'll be able to translate it and transfer it into many other aspects as well. It's not necessarily that simple. It's not necessarily that easy. It's definitely not that easy. The point is, it's never supposed to be easy. It is going to be difficult. There is going to be some growing pains. But if you can get through those first few days to then get a consistent habit built, then you will be able to be diligent in your work. You will be able to be disciplined in many different aspects in your life. So it's an interesting idea. Like, truly, it's just the idea is like maybe it isn't just so simple as one translates to the other. There are definitely aspects where they do relate, that they are linked in some regard, but I think it isn't that simple. So when you're trying to do a task, just know that most of the time you're going to have to start from zero mentally. You're going to have to start from zero and build it up. Callous the mind, as David Goggins talks about. That callous the mind so that you can slowly get used to a new routine, a new habit that is positive for you, that is good for you, that will benefit you in the long run, rather than, and keep you disciplined and keep you honest, rather than the classic just sitting on your couch wasting your days, wasting your time. Right? Do things that are worth your time. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen right away. There will be growing pains, there will be difficulties, but if you can overcome them, and if you can be disciplined, you will see that there is maybe a slight translation, because it ends up just being, it's how your mentality is. And that is the translation. That is the link between many different disciplines in your life. It is how your mind is, how strong of a mind you have. Maybe I just have a weak mind and there's still more strength I need to have, because the gym is now no longer a discipline. It is just automatic for me. So when things are difficult, I need to be disciplined in that way. So maybe I just have to strengthen my mind a little bit more. If you do have a strong mind, you will be able to translate the discipline to many other aspects of your life in an easier way. But if you don't have a strong mind, the gym is not going to just automatically fix that. The consistency in your workouts and physical exercise is not going to automatically fix that. So you need to be wary. You need to kind of walk that line. You need to understand that everything will be a discipline, everything will be difficult. But if you can truly overcome it, you can truly be mentally focused and switched on, then that will allow you to truly achieve many, many amazing things, have an amazing level of consistency, and truly make the most of your days. Not be lazy, be diligent in your work. So that's all I gotta say for today. It's just an interesting small little idea that I just recently came up with. It's a little bit early in the morning because I have a lot of stuff to do today. Yesterday's upload was a very late upload, so forgive me for that. But today's upload is gonna be an earlier one. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I don't really got much else to say. It's just an idea that I came up with. Just kind of be weary, right? It's just to kind of advise you to just keep kind of being disciplined, and understand that there is always going to be that barrier to overcome no matter where you're at. So thank you for watching. As always, show your support in any way you can. Like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. I appreciate you for being here. Let me know if you truly enjoyed this episode. I hope you did. But I will end this episode in the way I always do. Continue to glorify God throughout your life every day. As always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the 365 Podcast.